Tonight, I want to tell you what I've learned that has set me apart for opportunities beyond my wildest dreams. It is this. I found the greatest risk is not taking one at all. In my first business venture, I collected seashells and rocks at my family's beach house on Vashon Island and set up a store on our boardwalk, selling them to neighbors and people who passed by. Sometimes I would paint them, and sometimes they would be just plain old rocks or seashells that I sold just a few feet from where they were found on the beach. It was worth it to me to set up shop and give it my all. If no one came, that was fine, but I would sure do my best to entice customers with the finest seashells Vashon Island had to offer. Over time, I grew in business leadership and was a general contractor for building a 3-story playhouse. I was in 6th grade. That playhouse sold for $7,000 at our school auction. Even as a little girl with a seashell business, I didn't fear failure. I feared not taking the risk. That drive as a little girl has led me to opportunities I would never have dreamed of, and also to failure, which was a gift in disguise. I say all that to say, failure is not the end. It's your next step before your breakthrough. In 2013, my business partner and I were featured on ABC's TV show Shark Tank. With an idea to garner a loan to build our pickle business, which wasn't your in-home pickle business where we were covered in vinegar and the cucumbers came from our yard, but a full-fledged business where our pickles sat in almost 1,700 stores across 42 states. With a hope and a dream, we were shocked to find that none of the sharks wanted to invest their hard-earned cash in our business. But to be honest, that didn't stop me. Shark Tank wasn't a failure, it was a next step. Failure is a guaranteed step on your path to success. Because at the time, I knew the risks I had already taken to where I was led to breakthrough after breakthrough, and I had to embrace failure, not fear it. With a desire to spend more time with my kids, I had left my corporate job to start the pickle company. It was risky, but I couldn't move forward if I was afraid to take the risk. I took it, and it paid off. But that was only the beginning. The risks I took meant that if they paid off, not only would I have more time with my kids and be able to run a successful company, but I would have the unique privilege of being able to have a greater positive impact in our community. The person I became over the years was a woman of resilience. Resilience is defined as being able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Where most people get discouraged when they fail and may even give up, I've learned to have the unique ability to assess what I've learned and move forward with the next step quickly, knowing I'd rather give it my all and fail than not take a risk at all. If and when I fail at something, it isn't the end of the journey, but just the next step. Failure is not final. Failure is feedback. On national television, with millions of viewers watching, I was shut down by the sharks. That might be traumatizing for some, but you must have a tolerance for risk in order to grow. It's all in how you process the experience of failure. If you see it as final, then you will remove yourself from areas of risk throughout your life. But if you see it as a stepping stone, then you will see it as vital feedback that will give you insight you would not have otherwise received. So instead of spending my time avoiding failure, I am able to use the lessons learned and allow it to propel me to my next step. From my past failures and successes, I've learned to make intelligent choices about the risks I take. Each of us can take action to learn and grow from past failures and learn it to make deliberate decisions for what risks are worth taking. Stanford University's Resilience Project explains that the growth and wisdom that can only be achieved by navigating setbacks should not be considered the consolation prize to success, but rather bona fide revenue through which new perspectives are gained and crucial shifts in thinking are heralded. It's not about how epic your failure is. It's about how you get up afterwards. But you will never know, and I would never have known, what was possible if I wasn't willing to take a risk, dust myself off, and carry on. The life I live is one that has involved great risk, but also held great reward. I inherited my risk-taking, hardworking ways from my grandpa. He was a businessman who built everything he had from the ground up. His dad, my great-grandpa, ran a successful plumbing business, but lost everything in the Great Depression. After filing bankruptcy, He never had the drive afterwards to build it up again, and that always bothered my grandpa. He told me several times that no matter what life threw at him, he would never give up, and he would always keep on trying. As a little boy, growing up in Tacoma on McKinley Hill, he raised rabbits. He would skin them and sell the meat to Safeway and the fur to Sears and Roebuck. Him and his brother were also each given an apple tree to do what they wanted with. So he would pick the apples and take them in his wagon up to Safeway and sell them. His brother, on the other hand, did not like the hard work of picking apples. So my grandpa made him a deal. He picked the apples and sold them for him, and they split the profit 50-50. In his life, he was very creative and unique in his business ventures. Some paid off and some didn't, but he was always willing to try. He knew when to move out of a business that wasn't working. When I was little, he owned a hardware distributing company that sold products to small mom-and-pop hardware stores. As Lowe's and Home Depot came into the picture, and he could see the direction things were going, he decided to get out of the business before it became irrelevant. Some might look at that as a failure, but he looked at it as getting the opportunity to move on to his next venture. I inherited my entrepreneurial spirit from him. He continually encouraged me to follow my dreams, but always let me know that it wouldn't be easy and that it would take hard work. See, the problem is that too many of us truly believe things are just going to turn out perfectly for us, and we are shocked when they don't. But the truth is, we are active participants in the destiny of our lives. Our character, our competence, and our grit go a long way in seeing our dreams come alive. This useful intel about risk isn't only for our own benefit. Others are empowered when we allow them to fail. My 9-year-old daughter, Kylie, has already started her own watercolor business, K&G Colors. She has written a business plan, learned the basics of business, she's sourced production, and she's mapped out how she's going to pay back the loan I gave her to start it. She's even deciding how she's going to use her business to help a cause that's greater than herself. I am coaching her along the way, but I'm not making decisions for her. I am allowing her to taste both failure and success. Both are teachers and both are gifts. I can tell you from experience, it's never too late to take the risk, to go back to school, to write the book, or to apply for the job. You won't know what is possible until you take the risk. The world may keep on spinning, but you might not unless you do what you know that you have within your power to do. The risk may be big, and be wise, count the cost, but do not hesitate out of fear. Fear will always hold you back from your best. Failure may discourage you, but let it be, as the good people at Stanford said, a bona fide revenue through which new perspectives are gained. I am the woman I am today, not because of my failures, but because of the choices I made after my failures. Because I took risks, not because of the risks I never took at all. Because I chose to be resilient during difficult times that led to times of great reward, for myself and for my family and my community. Thank you.